Taper is what the best athletes have done for years to improve their performance when it really matters. It's a gradual reduction in training volume over time with an increase of intensity and race specificity. So in plain English, what is taper? It means you're gonna swim less and you're gonna swim faster. And the end goal is to perform at the absolute highest level in a major competition. So the only way taper works is if you put in the training volume earlier in the season. So you can't swim tapered all season long. So for example, if you train for 4 to 6 months, you're gonna spend the first 3 or 4 months of that 6-month cycle building your training volume. You're improving your technique, you're developing your skills, and you're building the overall capacity to perform in a specific event or a series of events. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys how to actually taper, the key things you need to focus on, and some of the biggest mistakes that swimmers are making when they taper.
It's really important to start with a dynamic warm-up. As I've been doing in this progression, I'm training for the World Championships, and I try and keep a very consistent routine, same dynamic warm-up and almost the same warm-up in the pool as well.
When you're tapering, the focus of your workout is so important, and that will determine if you're going to have a successful taper or not. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to swim fast. Now, in my 5-part taper progression series, I am now starting to taper. In the last workout, I showed you guys how to swim fast while you're training hard. Now, I'm still training hard, but we're gonna start to really fine-tune the details of the stroke and also try and get a little bit more speed. So I'm actually going to repeat the same set with a slight variation that I did last week. And each week in this series, I'm actually doing the same set, but I'm giving myself more rest and I'm trying to swim faster. Because at the end of the day, our #1 goal is swim faster. So when you're tapering for yourself and you're thinking about how do you get faster, the focus of the workout, the focus of your training, your technique, all of these things come together. So I'm starting with a dynamic warm-up, then I'm gonna hit the same set, almost the exact same set. I'll put it right here on the screen where I go a series of 50s where I'm gonna swim faster and faster and faster. The last one is off the block, doing broken swims, high intensity bursts, resistance training in the warm-up. All of these things are important elements to consider when it comes to taper and swimming fast. Let's get it.
The most important thing that you can do when getting ready for a big competition is trying to hone in on what exactly your warm-up is. What kind of a preparation does your body need? How much freestyle do you need to do? How much drill of different strokes do you need to be doing? For me, I love doing 2 kick, 1 pull breaststroke, especially long course. Really sets up my timing well. Each person has a different drill set and stroke technique warm-up that you need to do to get yourself ready to swim fast.
Woo, just finished the warm-up, getting ready for a little bit of resistance. Now I'm actually doing 2 kinds of resistance. I have 2 different size parachutes. First one is this red one, it's a little bit smaller. That's my first burst. And then after I get a little bit of muscle activation, I'm gonna go with a bigger parachute. Can increase the amount of resistance, and that's going to increase the muscle activation. So when you're tapering, it's really important that you continuously increase, at least maintain your intensity, give yourself more rest, more muscle activation, and that's how you swim faster.
So a set that I've been doing in this series are my 50s descend. I start out with parachute, that way I get a little bit of muscle activation, and then after I train with the resistance and I really get my muscles firing, I can increase the amount of resistance that I have, gradually load, get more and more muscle activation, and then after I swim with the parachute, then I can hit the 50s descend. Now my goal when I do these 50s descend is to swim faster every single week. So in just a little bit, I'll put on the screen what that set looks like. And you can see I did the same workout the week before, but I had less rest. And in next week's session, I'm actually going to decrease the amount of volume that I do. So a very similar set, but I'm actually gonna reduce the amount of 50s I do and get even more rest to swim faster.
All right, it's week 2 of taper. Ferris is about to go on his 50. He went 33.7 last week. Will he go faster this week? I don't know, probably not. Let's see if he has what it takes. We're gonna time him. Take your marks. Up!
And we're into the water for week number 2 of taper. Now, please note, I had just finished coaching a session after this. I know I'm already making excuses for my swim. So I have a little bit more pop this week compared to the prior week. but my timing is not as good. So I have more like explosiveness with my stroke. I think the resistance training is starting to come through. But if you look, I'm not holding my streamline in front. I'm kind of just popping up and down. I'm plowing through the water rather than riding on top of the water. So I need a little bit of a hold and streamline. Timing was better before.
33.6.
So yeah, I was a little bit slower than I went the week before, and I think a lot of it has to do with the timing not being as sharp. And yeah, I was complaining I was a little bit broken down, but it goes to show how important it is to have your rest, and also how important timing is, especially in a stroke like breaststroke, where if your timing is off, it doesn't matter how much energy you have, it's not gonna fit.
Woo! Just finished the workout. I was a little bit faster on that 50 than our last one. I would have liked to have been a little bit faster, but that's okay. When you're in the beginning of a taper process, you're not gonna go best times, and that's perfectly normal. Actually, it'd be weird if you're going best times in practice. The most important thing is that you're building a routine about swimming at a very high intensity, a lot of race specificity. So for me, I'm training for the 50 breaststroke and 100 breaststroke, doing a 50 fast off the blocks. Even though I'm a little bit broken down still, I haven't chopped off the weights yet. It's a little bit over fatigued, but we're getting a little bit faster. And each day and every workout, if you can focus on improving just a little bit more refined speed, a little bit more power, a little bit more intensity, as you reduce your volume, you're gonna start to swim really, really fast. It's gonna take a few weeks, it's gonna take a few months if you've been training really, really hard, or it's gonna take a few days if your base is not that large and you don't have that much to taper off of. But I'm looking forward to swimming fast in a few weeks, and then stay tuned for next workout, because I'm gonna show you the biggest mistakes that swimmers are making when they taper. Stay tuned and happy swimming.